How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Waffle Realit, and we have some brand new information about the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee games, as well as the 2019 game and the open world aspects of those games, coming from Junichi MASUDA on an article on Eurogamer. So here we go, guys. Eurogamer tweeted out, "I'm always concerned that we take Pokemon too far. It's no longer approachable." And here's what the Game Freak's Junichi MASUDA had to say about Let's Go Pokemon. Let's go Pokemon influences, the 2019 RPG, open world games, and more. And here's the article fully going through all this info. I'll read through all of this, guys, and of course I'll link it down below if you guys want to read it as well. So here we go. Pokemon boss Junichi MASUDA on keeping hardcore players happy, borrowing from Pokemon Go and Let's Go story. "I'm always concerned that we take Pokemon too far, that it's no longer approachable. Pick out a feature from most Pokemon games, and chances are Junichi MASUDA probably had something to do with it. The longtime director, producer, designer, and composer has done everything from designing the interfaces, intricacies of breeding shiny Pokemon in the main series, aka, Masuda method and all that stuff, right? Either way. So, to writing the music for Pokemon Go. On Wednesday, Eurogamer was present at the brief Q&A with Masuda-san and other members of the European press. Shortly after the Whirlwind conference, in which the Pokemon Company revealed its plans for not one, but 3 games at various stages of development to arrive over the next year and a half, the curious mobile Switch hybrid Pokemon Quest, as well as the upcoming sort of spin-off Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and the mysterious untitled Pokemon RPG that's due in late 2019, and are all being developed simultaneously by Game Freak. Its first mobile game, first HD home console game, and the first with co-op and cross-play of a sort. And then its first full RPG on the Switch. The studio, I'm told, has grown to well over 300 people in size. AKA, when we talked about those rumors, not really rumors, but that info that we found on Game Freak's website, they're hiring a bunch of people, now makes sense. It's an ambitious plan even still. Read on for a full transcription of Masuda-san's chat with us and the European media. "Can you elaborate on the smartphone and Switch connectivity, Masuda? So in terms of how connection works, we want to make it as simple as possible. So in the Switch, there's a connection button. You press the button on it, and then the Go on your smartphone presses the connect button. So it's a very simple Bluetooth connection. In terms of what you can do with the connection, right now you can send Pokemon from Go to Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and they don't go straight into your collection or your party. They enter into an area that's kind of like a safari park type thing, where you can see the Pokemon moving around in there, and you can actually go there and interact with them and catch them. But there are also some incentives to move a lot of the same Pokemon from Go, the same species, and then there's some sort of mini games you can play if you could do that. Okay, so there are mini games involved in like catching your own Pokemon and getting them from Pokemon Go over. So that's fair enough. I guess it'll be some fun thing, but the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee work like main series with exclusive Pokemon to each game, and will there be trading between the two? Similarity that the main series Pokemon games up until now, we've created 2 versions, Pikachu and Eevee, to have different Pokemon appear in both games. To really facilitate trading and make people want to trade to each other, so there is the wireless trading and kind of gameplay around trading with each other, so you can complete your Pokedex. How does this fit into the series? When it seems like such a clean break, are there any references at all in Let's Go to other games that come out? Do any old characters return? Unfortunately, all I can say is that they're based on the Pokemon Yellow version, and more details beside that are something that I hope people will look forward to. Can we learn about the assessment you made about Pokemon Go and its success? Now, there are other things you've picked up from Pokemon Go to include in Let's Go. So in terms of first about how I assess the success of Pokemon Go, of course it makes me very happy to see Pokemon Go to be such a huge success and such a phenomenon. And really, we think it introduced a lot of people to Pokemon. The idea of catching Pokemon, the idea of the Pokeball, and because of that, we really want to expand on that kind of idea of what a Pokemon RPG could be. Something that's broader for everyone, and that's why we work on these games. So that's the one assessment on Pokemon Go. With that in mind, obviously there are so many people that played Pokemon Go. I think we reached 800 million downloads, which I think I talked about this a while back. Like, Pokemon Go is still doing good. So we wanted to create a fun experience for them, but at the same time, really want to make a fun game for fans that have enjoyed the RPGs up until now. So it's really kind of a merging of those 2 audiences into one game that we can have fun and play. I'm trying to think of other things we picked up from Pokemon Go. I can't say about any other gameplay ideas that we picked up from Pokemon Go, but one of the things we really focused on was the experience of allowing, for example, parents to kind of go out and catch Pokemon for Pokemon Go, and then give some of those maybe to their kids who's playing Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go on the Switch, for example. So that experience is one of the things we wanted to really take a lot of care over for these games. and there's probably a lot of things, I guess, more subconsciously that did come into the development of these games. Of course, I worked on Pokemon Go, for example. I created the music for both of them, Go and Let's Go. So there's probably some things that maybe I'm not thinking about that did affect the Switch games. So that's fair enough. So to continue on here. How do you think the core RPG players will react to the Let's Go games? I know Pokemon Go was immensely popular, but it had quite a mixed reaction amongst more hardcore players. How do you appease those players? And is it more of a case that they should wait to 2019 for the games thereafter? So the first thing I could say is that I've been the director on the main series Pokemon RPGs, most of them, up until now. And there are a lot of core tenets or rules of the series that have never broken up until now. For example, the whole idea of the flow of going into a battle against a wild Pokemon, reducing their health, and then catching them. That's one of the things that we just never wanted to change. But with the games, with these games specifically, I wanted to create a new experience for kids. With this time, I decided to shift that towards more of a kind of casual, lighter experience. That's one of the things I wanted to do. So let me take a moment right here. So he is specifically saying with these games specifically. So specifically with these games, they wanted to create a bit of a casual experience for kids. So this game is intended for a casual audience. This is supposed to be for the normies in a wrong way. I mean, I'm sorry to all the normal people out there who don't seem to sit and talk about Pokemon on a daily basis, but rather play it on a casual level, right? So these games are supposed to be for the casual players. But next year, I hope now as we go through the rest of this text here, that next year is when we get the game that we wanted, right? Because honestly, I'm gonna be frankly honest. I was reading another article, right? From Eurogamer, where they said like, oh, Let's Go Peach and Let's Go Eevee, they have the perfect games for like people from Pokemon Go and new casual players that want to jump in and experience the same experience that we experienced when we were kids back with Red and Blue and whatnot, right? They say that, and then at the end of that, they say, and also there is some, MASUDA, not MASUDA, but like they also said like, oh, and there's of course like some new and awesome things for the core hardcore, loyal fans. No, there isn't. These games have, like, I'm gonna be frankly honest, right? I'm still gonna play these games. I'm still gonna probably enjoy them, and I am still gonna enjoy Kanto because I never had an issue with Kanto in general. I was one of the people who advocated against, for us to go back to Kanto as kind of a intermediary game between it. But these games removed an aspect of like gameplay that for us hardcore players kind of removes a lot of the incentive to want to play the games. One, they remove the aspect of battling wild Pokemon, which means grinding will not be the way we're used to it. So it means like we can't really grind Pokemon the same way we used to do in the past. I guess we will have to re-battle trainers several times. I hope we can at least, because otherwise I don't even know how we're going to level up Pokemon. If they make it into one of those things where like you gotta catch more Pokemon to get more XP or to get rare candies to then give to your Pokemon or some shit, I don't even know. That would be just really strange, honestly. It'd be really weird for a Pokemon game, but I guess that could be one of the things we'll have to deal with. But that's one of the things, right? The other problem is, for all the hardcore players, there is no competitive aspect to the game. There is no breeding Pokemon. So you can't breed Pokemon for competitive aspects. You can't even breed Pokemon for shiny hunting. Oh, yeah, shiny hunting, by the way. Shiny hunting, we don't even know how shiny hunting is going to work like. Is it going to be like in Pokemon Go, where it's like kind of simple to get, like, there really isn't any challenge or any direct way to shiny hunt. It's just kind of like you walk around until you get a shiny, or you sit on next to your PC or whatever and plug in a freaking, pull out an instance, whatever, and then boom, things just happen on their own. Like, is that what you do? Because in all honesty, I'm not really sure what the incentive is for the casual, like for the hardcore player to really play these games, because they don't feature those extra things that we need in the post game, right? That's what we play Pokemon after Pokemon has been released. After we're done with the story, what do the hardcore players, the people, no, just the 15 million people that usually like buy these games when they're brand new, right? What do those people do? Well, we finish off the story, right? They get together our team, we become the champion, we do all the post game, story and stuff. And once we complete a Pokedex, we go and shiny hunt. We go and competitively battle. We go and trade. We do all those things, right? Those are our post-game things. These games don't seem to offer that. And that is my personal issue with these games, is that they don't offer those extra things, it feels like. And if they do offer shiny hunting, since all the Pokemon are in the overworld, how do we know if they're going to be shiny? Do we have to just kind of approach them one by one in a very slow manner? Because that's what it looks like in these games. It's kind of, you just got to approach them slowly. There's no chaining, so you can't really, chain a Pokemon. I think it's going to be just like in Pokemon Go. You just kind of like randomly get them. Which, by the way, that's totally fine if they want to do that, I guess. For a casual audience, that's understandable. I've got nothing against these games. I'm still going to play them. I'm still going to buy them. Probably still going to enjoy them. But I still feel like these games are kind of just like a drop in the bucket for us actual, long-time fans. But that's totally fine, because again, I understand they want to bring in the more casual audience, to bring in people into the Pokemon era still. And it's better, actually. When you think about it, it's good, because all of us could complain, right? All of us could complain about these games. So think about it. If the normies disappear, if the casual disappear, the money disappears as well. And if Pokemon Company, if Game Freak and all these guys don't make money, guess what happens then? Well, we're all done for, right? Because if they don't make money, they won't make more games. They will just give us more nostalgia if they don't make more money. If they make a lot of money from these ones right now, then we can expect to see a lot of new generation stuff. Because I'm expecting the next game to be generation, 8, and then, in 2019, and then 2020 or 2021, we're going to see Gen 4 remakes. Proper remakes, not Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, whatever, but like actual proper remakes that we're going to see at that point. But I digress. Let's continue on here, shall we? So, one of the things, for example, up until now, is that tall grass you couldn't see which Pokemon were in there. So, a lot of players would kind of just avoid the tall grass in their journeys. Up until now, and one of the big changes this time is that you can actually see Pokemon before you actually run into and encounter them. So, it's kind of a change to the dynamic, to much more of a proactive experience. You're going out and seeking Pokemon, which is totally fine, but like if it's executed poorly, and just like the way it's in Pokemon Go, it's going to be kind of boring. I do like the fact that you have to kind of run in the grass and the Pokemon pops out of the grass and is visually around you. That's pretty cool, but I don't know. We'll see how that turns out. So for now, having Pokemon worked on the Pokemon RPG main series games and Pokemon Go, both the players who have enjoyed our RPGs until now, all the fans are extremely important to me. But also the people who played Pokemon Go, and that was their first Pokemon game. They're also extremely important to me. And what I really want to do with these games is to prevent both of these types of players from going to different directions. And I'm hoping that these games will kind of bring them together. No, they really won't. They will take some part of us, but I think the ones as far as I've seen the response from most people, a lot of the hardcore fan base is gonna, just kind of give up if we don't get a game that's not this next year. That's for a fact. So what would make me happiest would be if Pokemon Go players and traditional Pokemon RPG players actually come together and are throwing out Pokeballs together, either with the Joy-Cons or using their smartphones, and really enjoying Pokemon together. See, we want those battles. That's all. We just want the battles. Give us breathing. Give us the things that we kind of had in the past, and we should be happy. That's all. We always want innovation, right? We always want innovation. But this to me doesn't feel like innovation or bringing in new features. It feels like you're kind of removing things, and that's kind of the issue for most people. And again, I'm sorry for ranting. I understand what the point of these games is, but the fact that he's still feeling like, they're supposed to be, he's supposed to be there's supposed to be these, he's trying to point out that these games are supposed to be for everyone, right? But they're really more just to bring in the casual audience. So, either way, let's see. And they also say here, so what would make me the happiest? And that's one of the things I just mentioned about the parent maybe going out and catching Pokemon and giving them to their child and sharing the catching experience. Just to quickly follow up on that. I know you can't talk much about the 2019 RPG, but can you tell me when the decision was first made to develop the game as well as the Let's Go games? Did you decide that to do Let's Go first and then a 2019 game? And was that the decision made to mitigate the risk of the more hardcore long-term players maybe not being so into it? So then he says, so I definitely wasn't, it definitely wasn't like a risk avoiding thing. We knew that we wanted to create another Pokemon series, as we call them, for all the fans that have really enjoyed the games up until now. But the games that we're talking about for 2019, we've been working on those for a while. The same with Let's Go and Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Part of it was because there's a lot of functionality with the Nintendo Switch. We really want players to really experience what there is to offer here. So we're making two different games at the same time. And specifically for these games, I personally really want more kids to pick up and play with this Nintendo Switch. That's really the goal for me. So what really worries me here, guys, and I'm just going to inject my little opinion right here. What worries me about what he says right here is that they maybe will take the aspect of what's in these games, the fact of we're not battling, because a lot of kids will pick up these games, that's for sure. A lot of parents will buy the Switch and they'll buy Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee for them, and they'll play through these games, sure. But then those kids will be used to the whole aspect of hey, I don't need to battle Pokemon in the wild. Will you then force us, longtime fans, also to do the same? That's what worries me. So, related to that, looking forward, do you envisage there being two series of the Pokemon games? So, Let's Go series and the main series like Sun and Moon, are they going to be two, or are they going to come together again? I'd say there's a possibility of that. Should the games sell really well, and obviously a lot of people play them, but right now we're really focusing on development and just getting a lot of people who play the games in the first place. So, this is exactly what I'm worrying about. Oh, no. It's exactly what I'm worrying about, right, guys? He literally said it himself. If enough people buy it, we'll do more of it, right? We'll merge them into one. We'll make it into one thing. That's what worries me. I don't need that. I think most of us don't need that. We don't need our games getting totally casualized just so they can make more money off of the general audience. This is exactly right here, right? Nothing above really worried me as much, because I always thought, that was my approach to this when I first saw the announcement was, okay, it's going to be a little bit on the casual side. It's going to go on the casual people, you know, for them. It's going to be focused on them. But the fact that you're saying here that if they sell well, if we make a lot of Mule, you know what I mean? We'll make a lot of cash. We make a lot of cash, then we're going to do we're going to merge the two. I'm going to have them like this all the time, which scares the shit out of me. I am not on board for that. And I think most people wouldn't be on board for that are hardcore fans, because I think we're fine with these games like as an introduction thing for, you know, new players. But if you're going to make this a constant, that's a worry for most of us. So, okay, you said earlier there was a few things that would never change in Go, but have changed in Let's Go, with Nintendo choosing to make another, like, Mario, Zelda more like open world. But for next Pokemon, did you want to experiment with more of an open world with exploration and roaming? So with the Pokemon games, I'm sure you all know we're always trying to make them fun, appealing for the players of all ages, not just the older players and not just the kids. So I can't really commit either way, but if we find a way, I think it's possible. If we're to find a way to preserve the fun and kind of broad, and the kind of broad appeal of Pokemon, and also have that kind of more open world gameplay, then that is one possibility. It's hard to say right now. So there's definitely those type of questions. I always, I wouldn't say worried, but in some way, I'm always concerned that we go and take it too far, so it's no longer approachable. I used to be the fan of a top-down shooting games like the R-Type, point to a nearby arcade machine. As the time went on, the shooting genre just kept pursuing this sort of more difficult, more complicated direction, and just got to the point where people couldn't enjoy them as much, and they just weren't as approachable as they used to be. So I just want to make sure that at Pokemon, we don't make that same kind of, I don't know what to call, I want to say mistake, but go down the same direction. So, you said the game is inspired by Pokemon Yellow from 1999. Can we find the same story as it was then? So, one thing I can say is the game world, the overworld, the whole map is very true to the original Pokemon Yellow games. And also, the story kind of sticks to the story beats from Pokemon Yellow. One of the kind of reasons behind that was with the games being released 20 years ago, I kind of imagine that maybe some parents who played Yellow version when they were kids will now have kids of their own, and they can kind of remember the adventure and maybe give some hints or tips to their kids that are playing the game. Maybe some other fun things, for example, the first gym leader, Brock. A lot of kids who maybe grew up with the animated series, not the original Red and Blue series, they may not even know he was a gym leader, so there might be some fun discoveries there. We know the Pokeball Plus vibrates and makes sounds that can elaborate on that some more, and he goes through some information on that, which is really not important, because we already know that Pokeball Plus is a little bit of a cash grab. So, either way, I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm a bit concerned. This right here, this concerns me the most. This right here, and I want to know your thoughts, guys. So I already gave you my thoughts. This video's already running on for way too long. I want to know your thoughts on this, because this scares me the most, right? This right here. This is what scares me the most, and it really, really worries me, guys. So let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy, guys, and that's going to be just about it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all the next time. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.